What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Showdown Breakdown. Thursday night football edition. We're talking Broncos at the Chargers, 42-point total. One game for all the monies. And with me to break it all down, Bobby Millions. What's up, my man?
Hey, let's do this thing. A lot of football this weekend.
So many. No buys. There's games and games nonstop.
Saturday games too, right?
Yes, a 2-gamer on Saturday that has to be its own special thing. So we have a lot of stuff going on. And again, reminder, you got to be subscribed if you're going to be on the vibes of all the breakdowns. So make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel and notifications are on if you want these breakdowns. We are talking Thursday night football here. And it's an interesting one, Bobbywow, because this game, we'll jump to the matchups here, but this game really doesn't feature a lot of superstars on either side. You know, when you think about it, who's the running backs? I don't know. I don't even know. Yeah, it's messy stuff on both of these teams. Denver too. Who the hell's their running? I don't know. The matchups tool is going to be super helpful. So let's start with the matchups. We're going to get a sense of the snap counts. We do have a running back that seems to be elevating on the Chargers. And then we'll go from there. There's some other mysteries here, but we'll start with the basics. So let's start on the Chargers side. Herbert, healthy.
Practicing, so should be looking better.
Yeah, should be good to go. At running back, though, it's really interesting. So take a look. I already looked at ownerships, and it's really weird. So last week, Kamani Vidal. Let's just look at the snap counts and the carry counts, and then you tell me what you think. What this tells you. So last week, Gus Edwards, 26%, 27% of the snaps versus Kamani Vidal up to 70%, which is huge. But when you look at the actual carry numbers, it was mostly Gus Edwards getting all the carries, and Vidal got a couple of targets. Now, do you think that was just natural variance last week? Do we think Vidal is now being elevated into let's see what he's got levels?
Yeah, I think part of that was probably just the game situation. The Bucks really took it to the Chargers last week. They blew them out. So Kamani probably on the field toward the end of the game more. But I think at the end of the day, we're seeing a very ineffective Gus Edwards. And we know what we're getting with Gus, right? We're getting someone who can't catch passes, powerhouse running back, maybe goal line back. But Kamani Vidal brings a lot more to this Chargers team overall. So I do think, even considering the blowout, Kamani is going to continue seeing more and more snaps and more and more touches, especially in the passing game.
He's also the young guy on the upswing, and we all know who Gus Edwards is. And it's not that great. He's been terrible this year. He's been unusable, and he's getting quite a bit of ownership, which is always interesting. But yes, we see a shift in snaps. It's relevant because on the season, Kamani 16%, meaning his snap count has just been growing last few weeks. So look for Kamani to step up for sure. That's what that tells us, or at least it implies that. At tight end, Stone Smart got the start.
Yes, he did.
Did fine last week. Got a couple targets. I think Stone Smart is going to be a popular play here. The other tight ends really don't do anything. Looks like Tucker Fisk gets a target every once in a while. I like this Chargers team. It's really easy to understand. There's not that much going on here. At wide receiver, look at the wide receiver. Last week, Quentin Johnston got all the targets. Quentin John's turd. Finally woke up and caught a couple of them, I guess. But overall, Ladd McConkey seems to be the WR1. His season target percentage is up there at 22%. That includes some missed games, so that number would be higher on a game-over-game basis. With Quentin Johnston and Josh Palmer kind of rounding it out, they don't throw to the other guys.
Yeah.
It'll take an injury or something else for any of the wide receiver turds on this team to emerge. So a turdless team, I would say, are the Chargers. Do you agree?
I would agree. Yep.
They are
relatively turdless, but Kamani Vidal, again, is probably that's kind of like the X factor a little bit.
Yeah, Rough Buff Fire is saying Hayden Hurst might be back, which will throw a little wrench into even the tight end.
No, it won't. No, it won't. Hayden Hurst doesn't catch passes. That guy, one target a game, 2 targets a game at the most. Stone Smart is the guy because Will Dissly is the one we need to watch. And he has not practiced yet this week.
You want to hear something gross about Hayden Hurst? I think he was a first-round draft pick in the real NFL draft.
You're correct.
How gross is that?
Was drafted 25th overall by Baltimore.
How gross is that?
It's gross. And trust
like
me,
a blocking
time. We don't have to worry about him. Stone Smart's still in play as long as Disley is out.
Disley. All right. Well, good to hear and good to know. Let's shift gears to the Broncos side. And another one. It's mysterious. I don't know who the running back is. Let's try to figure it out. Right? So they have 3 guys on this team. This is so gross. Maybe no one's the running back. They have 3 guys on this team. Javonte Williams, Jaleel McLaughlin, and Audric Estime. Last week, I mean, this is crazy. Javonte, 53% snaps, so he definitely got more snaps, with Jaleel and Estime each getting around 21 or 22% of the snaps. But as far as the actual touches, it was almost spread evenly between the trio.
Yeah, it's ugly.
Evenly.
It's an ugly situation in Denver, and Sean Payton certainly doesn't give us any insights here.
Unhelpful. One thing I will say about that trio is I have a feeling, without having looked yet, that Estime will be the cheapest and the sneakiest, in the sense that if they're all getting about the same amount of work, you probably just want to play the cheapest one.
Yeah, I mean,
the lowest ownership.
He is the cheapest. To me, Jaleel McLaughlin's probably the guy to play, just because over the last couple of weeks, he's been more and more involved as a pass catcher, and he's had the most reps. So if you're going to play anyone, it's probably him. They're all kind of mid-tier pricing. Yeah. So, but again, yeah, you're right. I think you could play Estime. It's gross. It's not like you're jumping out of your way to play any of these 3 guys.
This whole team, they've had a few showdowns with the Broncos, and I'm not going to lie, they've been annoying.
Yes.
This team's annoying. Like, that's the best way I could put it. It's a fucking annoying team.
Sean Payton's annoying.
Yeah, look how many players are playing. So, talk about, wait. No offense, my man, Fantasy Fling. I know you're a Broncos fan, but they're an annoying fantasy team to deal with. And the tight end position is just as weird. They got Adam Troutman. Adam Troutman's got a couple of targets. I think he has a couple touchdowns on the season already.
Yeah.
But as far as Troutman, he's not a pass catching tight end either. He's a blocker. The other guys are blockers. You got Lucas Kroll and Nate Atkins all getting snaps, 42, 38, 46%. I mean, this is crap. Right, so these guys are all in here just blocking and getting an occasional target. Any one of them can catch a pass. They're all turds. I don't think you can uncheck any of them if you're making 150.
Yeah, if I'm unchecking anyone, it's probably Nate Atkins. We've seen Troutman have some decent games. We've seen Kroll involved, but it's gross. Again, like you mentioned, it's very gross.
There we go. Thanks, my man, Sammy Telesco. We appreciate your comment. Let's fucking go.
I think just as a note here, this is where the props projections will come extra in handy. So we want to make sure to pay attention as those come in. I think that'll tell the story about who we want to play at running back, who we want to play at tight end. At least give us maybe an edge in terms of who to give some more exposure to.
We'll give that the old eyeball as well on the Dom station in a second. We'll see if any of those prop projections are in yet. At wide receiver, though, it gets crazy also for Denver. Outside of Courtland Sutton, who is the mainstay, he's averaging 25% targets on the season. That's been consistent. You could feel confident if Bo Nix throws it 30 times that 6 to 8 of those targets are going to Courtland Sutton. Yeah, maybe 9. Maybe 9.
Maybe.
And then it's just a bunch of ne'er-do-wells. All getting some snaps. Devon Vele, 60%. Troy Franklin, 46%. Then Mims Jr., who was a star, I think, of the last showdown, at 25%. And even Little Jordan getting in there a little bit. As far as target shares, I mean, look at these numbers. They're all so close together. They're all at about 10%. It's like 3 targets for everyone.
Yeah. Vele seems to be kind of like the boomer bust guy, right? Like he had one target last week, but then you look at 2 weeks ago, he had 9 targets. So it gets crazy for him. I think Troy Franklin of those three is probably the safest of that trio. But you're right, Cortland Sutton, he's a wide receiver play. Although he did have he lucked out with a touchdown at the very end of the game last week. Otherwise, he would have busted too. So it's really tough on everywhere with Denver. It's just tough.
Yeah, these are going to be sketchy plays. Ownership's going to be important to see, and we don't even have our ownerships out for this game yet, although I did glance around the industry before this show to get a sense of what's going on, and no one knows. That's really what it came down to, outside of the names that are very, outside of the Cortland Sutton, Lad McConkey combo. Those are basically the highest owned, and then the quarterbacks, and then everybody else is just a massive drop. At least that's what I'm seeing so far.
Yep.
All right. So we're going to jump over to the Dom station in a second, Bobbywow, and we're going to look at the prop projections, see if we could tell anything, and then we're going to kind of go captain, and we're going to break down position groups and talk about who we like. But real quick, I just want to talk about the DFS Army player props team and subscription player props games, DFS prop games. I'm talking Prize Pick, Sleeper, Underdog, DraftKings Pick 6, Better, Flip, all that stuff, right? So we have a special subscription specifically for that. And the guys have been asking me to mention them because they have killed it. And I feel like a lot of people who are in DFS Army are not even aware. Guys, this is the tracker, and I just want to show the numbers. This has been tracked for the last 2 years. So every play they give out, and you could see here, oh, there we go. See, that's what happens when I try to do live edits. Well, you can, it just keeps getting bigger because I hit Control Plus. It's like 5 times. It's moving so slowly. Oh boy. Well, there's your tracker. Anyway, this just went off the wall. There it is, coming back down. But basically, these guys give out. Yeah, there we go. They're giving out picks and slips for Prize Pick, Sleeper, Underdog. They're all tracked right here on the tracker. You can see here, last 30 days, they're up $1,200 on 11,590 in entries. Last 7 days, up 500 on 2,200. That's almost 20%. Year to date, 18,000 on 164,000 in entries. That is around 13%. And all time, same thing. If you've been just following along with this subscription, in the last year and a half, this started last September, literally September 1st, 2023. We started it. You'd be up 30,000. A lot of people don't make that in their job, Bobbywow.
No, that's a legit number.
You could be playing this as your job on a $35 a month subscription. Okay, they're putting out, it's Will Lynn and Sniper putting out the plays. We got a great Discord team. And it's not just that. We've just added, we've effectively leveled up the Proptimizer tool. So I just wanted to real quick show the Proptimizer tool and kind of what it does here. So if I'm looking for props for tonight, I could jump on this tool. It initially, right off the bat, it's showing me, this is the Prize Picks one, right? So this is showing me that Prize Picks is 6.5, but the consensus odds are at 7.5. So this odd on Prize Picks should be minus 150, right? It's a 50-50 spot on Prize Picks, but it's showing you this is massively skewed to the over. So it's telling you play this over, and over time you have value. It's pointing out the amount of value, or in the case of Prize Picks, we given a percentage chance of hitting. So it's this one will hit 60% of the time, and that's a good prop. Here's Marvin Mims. Wait a second. From tomorrow's game, let's see what it says about him. Mims Jr. on Prize Picks, they got him at 24.5 yards. Consensus is 27.5. Now, as a bonus for NFL plays, or for most plays, we get the DFS Army projection in here as well, or the Sharp app projection, so you can see what the sports books say it should be. In this case, I would not bet it because we're projecting him under the 24.5, even if the sports book, this is a bet on the sports book basically for the under kind of play. That's what that is showing. And here's the version for Underdog, right? So we have one for Sleeper, Underdog, DraftKings Pick 6, all these different sites. And we actually have more coming soon, but it is a wonderful tool here. Again, Underdog also likes, here we go. On Underdog, this is basically free money. If if you play these on Underdog, they have Drake May over 0.5 touchdowns, where consensus odds have that as minus 282 to the over. So that is a massive, massive edge to the over. So these spots are showing up. So if you like to play pick'em games on Underdog, bam, you don't need anything else. You just go to this tool, grab Drake May, take the over, grab Mac Jones touchdowns under 1.5. Fine. Why? Because it's minus 250 at consensus. So it's comparing it against consensus odds. We have him at 1.09 touchdowns. So we don't think he's going to throw for 2, or at least that's not what he's projected for. And again, you could quickly create slips on these games. So I highly recommend it. Go check it out. The price of that sub is going to $49.99 on January 1st. So the people who are signing up now, it's at $34.99, Bobbywow. On January 1st, it is going up to 40 because we added all the tools to the Proptimizer and we have to raise the price to cover it. So get in there now because those subscriptions lock in. Imagine for $34 a month, you'd be up $28,000 over a course of a year and a half, just following along. You don't even have to use your brain. You just copy their tickets. A lot of people say, I'm cold, I'm this, I'm that. How do I make money playing DFS? It's hard. Give me a lineup. We are giving you lineups. All right. It's up 30,000 tracked. Follow along. If you're a DFS Army VIP, you have access to that until December 31st. It's part of your VIP package. After December 31st, you will have to pay as well. I advise signing up for that thing before the price goes up. I don't know how else to say it because everybody's going to complain. They say, you didn't say anything. I'm saying, I said it on the show. I didn't watch that show. Got to be watching. All right.
Sweet deal.
Back to the showdown. I forgot what we're talking about. I had to do the promo. We are getting sprayed with radioactive shit. There is something going on over here. Jonathan Poppenberg. And I will tell you right now, I was outside with my shotgun the other day, pointed at the sky. I was ready for those drones. I'm like, yo, if the government's not going to do shit about this, Geek's going to take care of it. But then you know what happened, Bobbywow? It was freezing outside.
Oh, you had to go back in.
Yeah, I was like 3 minutes. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Where are these drones? I'm going back in. It's freezing. It's cold at night.
Too cold for the drones too, right?
I'd shoot one down. You know why there's no drones in the South, by the way? Because rednecks. They wouldn't last a second down there. They wouldn't last. Those drones would be shot down. Some guy shot down a Walmart drone the other day. He was like, I don't like that shit flying over my house. He just blast, you know, in like Maryland. There's no drones in the South. It's only in the Northeast where the pussies live. Oh, sorry.
Jesus.
I live here. I'm part of that. Like, they don't let him. I genuinely don't know what the hell's going on, but I did think about getting out of town. All right. I did. I was like, I don't know if there's radioactive. I don't know. Let's get the hell out of here. That's my wife.
Oh,
all right.
Oh, drone enthusiast.
Drone enthusiast. I assume a drone enthusiast is somebody who likes to peep in on their neighbors.
No, but come on.
Isn't that it? No. All right. Let's get into it.
I suppose I don't know for sure.
I don't really know. Yeah, I have a drone here, by the way, too, that my brother gave me. I don't know how to use it. Like, I don't know how to fire it. I think it requires an Android phone. I got an iPhone.
See, I would be scared that my neighbors would think I'm trying to look at them.
Or that. Yeah.
That's what I would be. When in reality, I'm just like, well, look at this sweet thing that's flying. I want to fly this thing around.
If I was going to use mine, I was going to do it.
Like an RC car almost.
Yeah. If I was going to do it, I was going to spy on my neighbor. Like, what else am I going to do with it? I'm going to check out what my neighbors are up to.
Well, no, I'm not going to spy. I'm worried that they would think I would, but I'm not spying. Why?
You are spying on. That's what you're doing. You're literally looking in their yards. Oh.
I'll fly that thing around in my attic. I need to see what's going on in there. A lot of noise, a lot of rodents.
Oh, yeah. You got something. I do have a drone here. I just don't know how to turn it on. I don't know how to use it. All right. Showdown. Let's talk about the captain spot. So let's take a look at the props projections and see if we could figure anything out. I don't think there are going to be a lot of, there's nothing for the running backs yet. Kamani Vidal getting it. Ooh, look at this, Bobbywow. Kamani Vidal.
There you go. See?
5. Yep.
That's big.
That is a huge number relative to this sort of industry level projection. So, yeah, look out for Kamani.
I'll be overweight on him.
Oh, this is on captain side. Let me go to the flex so I don't see it ridiculously. Yeah. So Kamani gets the 7. Big number for Kamani Vidal.
Yep.
This is actually funny. Can you imagine?
It's like that new ad. You have an iPhone. Apple came out with that new, like, it creates pictures, the AI.
No.
You got to do it with yourself. That's what you'll look like with radioactive material.
I need to get the new iPhone at some point. All right. So let's talk about captains, right? I'm just looking at the slate, Bobbywow, and the most obvious 2 captains are McConkey and Courtland Sutton, right? Neither team has a dominant running back.
Yep.
You could play the quarterbacks, but like these aren't the style of quarterbacks that normally are the nuts. Especially, by the way, has Justin Herbert been the nuts captain ever? All year? For a guy
he's had one good week where maybe he could have been.
Wait,
that's it.
I'll check that week. Let's see. All right, so his good week was week 11.
There it is. Yep. 26 points. Round up.
Week 11, McConkey 21. Okay. Was there, Johnston? McConkey got a 21 that week. Johnston, nothing, 12.8. Let's see if Disley went nuts. Week 11, Disley got an 18. So in order for him to have gotten there, both McConkey, so he had a 26, and McConkey and Disley each got around 20, like McConkey 22. So that was the dangerous dance that he had to do in order to get there. And I also bet that he ran for a touchdown in that game. Let's see, week 11. Yes, he did. No, did not run for a touchdown, but ran for 65 yards, which is massively out of character for this quarterback.
And he's got a hurt ankle right now. But to your point, like Disley was almost certainly the captain anyway. He was the nuts captain because he was probably half the salary of Herbert.
Yeah. So even in Herbert's best game this year, he was not the nuts captain. I'm saying this because as of right now, Herbert projects as like 15 to 17% the captain. And I think a great way to get different and interesting is to not do that.
Absolutely. Because you're in tournaments, you're going to want some exposure to these other wide receivers, like, some of these secondary wide receivers on Denver, even Quentin Johnson, who had a 30% target share last week. And to me, that's where it comes from. You can fade some of this QB exposure and then pull that over to these wide receivers that have shown some legitimate upside at points during the season.
Yeah. I mean, Quentin Johnston,
10 targets.
He's an absolute bonehead. Guy dropped 4 passes. I'll never forgive this Baltimore donut. 5 targets, 0 receptions when I only needed 1 reception to advance into the playoffs in that league. I hate him with a passion and a burning fury. But at the same time, it's a showdown. Anything can happen. But I love McConkey, so he's my guy here. Cortland Sutton is the other one.
These 2 guys will be super, super chalky. Look, last week he got bailed out, man. He would have had like 5 points not for that touchdown. He still didn't hit value, but he's the number one.
How do you feel about, like, I don't know, Vidal? Are there any running backs that suit? So for me, so far, it's going to be McConkey, Sutton, and maybe a little Quentin Johnston, right? We've established that. Are any of these running back? I think Bo Nix is an acceptable. Let's see. I think Bo Nix, because he runs.
Yeah, he's acceptable.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't run a lot.
He's been 30. He's hit 30 twice, which is
he can get
enough.
That. Although I will say I've been disappointed. Like, where's the running, Bo Nix?
Well, and the other thing too is, let's remember that Bo Nix is going to be on the road, and both these defenses are pretty good. They've got some playmakers, both of them, that can kind of keep things in check. It's not a very high game total. So, that's the other thing to keep in mind here with the quarterback situation. I like Kamani Vidal. I'll have some captain shares for sure at his price. He's a pass catcher. He can get there. If they finally decide to use him more than Gus, that could be a sneaky guy at captain.
I think that's almost a foregone conclusion.
It has to happen eventually. feels like the time is now. But it's Jim Harbaugh, so
I hope the field doesn't get on that. Kamani Vidal, let's see here. I'm just checking some ownerships.
He won't be popular at captain. I don't think so.
No, yeah, he's showing right now on another site 23% in the flex, and I'm seeing him 3% captain, which is lower than Gus Edwards.
That's yes. Yeah.
No one is above 4% here outside of the quarterbacks and those two big wide receivers. I think that presents an opportunity. It might present it. I just don't know what the opportunity is. I'm trying to think if the opportunity is just actually go crazy over on McConkey and Sutton and just accept it. Or is it to get really weird with Kamani or one of these other guys?
I think it's to get weird with Kamani and one of the Denver Broncos secondary guys like Vele or Troy Franklin, or even somebody like Josh Palmer who stunk all year. But this could be the game. I know. Look, he's been bad. He's been horrible.
He's been like that. That's his career. That's not this year. He's exactly the same as he's always been. This guy is
Fair
mid.
enough.
He should be named Josh Mid Palmer.
The other guy that
I've had this guy on my dynasty teams for years. He never, ever gets it done. It's always this is the same Chargers team that had no wide receivers but Palmer for multiple stretches of time over the last two seasons. At 3 seasons. I've seen enough of it. He will never watch. Now it happens. I would say this guy is incapable of a 20 plus.
He could be. Wouldn't need 20. He probably needs 15 or 16, but even incapable of that. Probably the one guy I will have some exposure to, assuming Disley is out, is Stone Smart. At that price, you definitely want some captain exposure there. You could fit anybody you want in the lineup.
Let's shift gears a little bit and talk about the flex positions here and some of the other names that we could just kind of touch on. So, with these two teams, when we get to the flex, I'm always thinking kicker. We got Dicker, the kicker, and Will Lutz. I love both of these kickers, like in general.
Yeah,
I even think
absolutely.
Dicker, yeah, even captain worthy.
100%.
Just even I love Dicker. Are you serious? Dicker, the kicker. He's born for this. And then Will Lutz, they're both averaging almost 10 points per game. That is a high number. No, that's not right. That can't even be right. Oh, yeah, it is right. I thought that was like the captain bonus. No, that is right. That's a great number for kicker. So I like those guys. Both defenses in play as well. Like, would it shock you if Broncos or Chargers smashed here?
No. Not necessarily. I mean, it's Herbert's health is the concerning thing, right? His ankle. He was limited in practice. He's gonna play, but
that dude
you don't want any extra limits on Herbert. He's already kind of struggling as it is to put up numbers. So you take his rushing away, and it gets tough fast. But yeah, I think just to your point, defenses could absolutely get there. Yeah.
It could be really, really interesting. So Stone Smart, very inexpensive at 4,200 in the flex. I think that's reasonable. There's Devon Vele at 4K. Again, he's had some good games. So, and bad.
Yeah, he's more of like that. Yeah, I mean, 14 at that price is a smash.
Where's Mims Jr.? How?
I like Troy Franklin a lot. He's 3K. This is not a turd slate where you have to drop down to min price. You don't have to drop down below, I would say below $2,000 here. I'm not going to be down there. You won't need to with your lineup. You'll see when we start building.
Yeah, it's unnecessary.
Troy Franklin in play, absolutely.
It's one of these turd wide receivers is going to get it done. The only one, like Mims has a 22-pointer this season. Veli has a big game. I don't know if Troy Franklin has a big game yet. He's probably my least favorite of this crew. Yeah, there's no reason to delve below this. Watch. The other thing there's no real reason to do is worry about like cheaper. Look at how this comes together.
Yeah.
So my favorite guy is always going to be McConkey, right? But it doesn't matter. Sutton, McConkey. Let's start a lineup with one of these guys. let's put the other one in the lineup as well. So these are the two best plays on the slate. I think both quarterbacks are certainly good plays as well. So we could play Knicks here.
There.
What's that?
Throw Stone Smart in there.
Yeah. Well, from here, yeah, we can get Stone Smart in here. We can get kickers. We got Dicker in there. Get a little Stone Smart if we want. Fine. 6,700. Jaleel McLaughlin, Palmer. I wouldn't mind getting up to Vidal. So I would do this and then maybe Mims Jr. or Devon.
No, I would play Smart. I would maybe go down on Dicker to is Lutz cheaper?
Yeah, you could switch to Lutz and still do the same.
That's where I would go.
I mean, this is fucking money. This is how you're building on this slate. I think this is what you're seeing on the screen is how you're going to build for this, right? This is the most obvious way to build it. McConkey, Sutton, they can swap back and forth up top there for your primary captain. You get a Bo Nix, especially Nix. I think he's the better quarterback compared to Herbert in terms of fantasy upside for this game. And then, try to squeeze in Smart. I'll do one, though. I like Veli in there as well.
That's probably more on the safe side, that lineup you have right now.
Yeah,
Stone Smart's a cash lock to me.
I'm going to throw this one in this contest, Bobbywow. I'm putting it in there. Even though it shouldn't be in a million maker. That should be in a cash game. But that was easy. By the way, look how quick you do. I love that lineup. Let me switch it up. I'll do a second. Sutton up top. I love McConkey more, fair, but Sutton up top, still get Knicks in there. This one, I do want to get that Vidal. So let's see. Vidal has a good game. I want, instead of Stone Smart, we can go with one of these other guys, Mims Jr. or Veli.
Stone Smart had 5 catches last week. He had a bunch of targets, 5 catches. He's involved.
He didn't do that much with those catches. He's all right. Oh, shit. I mean, that could work too.
I'm just saying he's the safer option far and away. Vele's had 0 points and 2 points the last 2 weeks, so he's more of your boomer bust at the price type of guy.
Yeah, I'm fine with him too. I mean, it doesn't matter. But I just don't want to do the same thing again, basically. But
totally,
this one has Vidal in it instead, and here we can get to Will Lutz as well. And again, both defenses are super playable also. So I think that's where we're gonna live. It's gonna be like these two quarterback. And then the bottom 3 come in from this 4, 5, 6K range. No worries about salary on the slate.
No worries.
It's not the easiest one, guys, to do lineups for, in the sense that outside of Sutton and McConkey, there's no real definitive like running backs on either team or any of that. But at the same time, hopefully that will lower the tie percentages in this one, which is good.
And then in deeper tournaments, I think you could kind of reverse it. You could start with your Vele or your Troy Franklin, or your Stone Smart, and then you can go, quarterback, the top 2 wide receivers, and build it all.
I'm going to tell you right now. All right. I want to think about, as captains, because it's so easy to afford whatever you want, only players that have 20-point upside. Which of those guys? I would say Vele has gotten a 20.
Yeah, Vele's up there. Mims. I think Troy Franklin is close.
Vele could do it. As if he was the starting running back, he could probably do it. Oh, no, not Vele.
Vidal.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, Vidal could get it done. So, yeah, a few different ones. All right, let's jump over to FanDuel real quick. And as you know, FanDuel rewards quarterbacks and running backs above wide receivers. So I don't have ownerships open up, but I have a feeling that we're going to see like 30% Bo Nix captain or MVP, 25% Herbert, something crazy like that. No running back needs to be almost, could you go 100, Bobbywow? Like, how crazy can we get here with Nix and Herbert?
It depends on your contest type. I think, you could absolutely make the argument, just go 50-50 or 75-25. I'll have some Vidal. I'll have some Ladd. I'll have some Sutton. Those are guys that could outscore their quarterbacks.
I can't even find Vidal.
But beyond that, probably not.
How far down do I have to go? Oh my God.
7K.
Come
I
on.
think let's zoom out a little bit, right? Vidal has been the RB2 in terms of touches, but we think that's going to continue changing. We think that's going to start reversing between him and Edwards here, probably starting this week. So that's why we're so high on Vidal. But yeah, that's too cheap.
Gus Edwards is really easy to fade.
He's really easy to fade, but if this is the game where he gets 2 goal line touchdowns and he somehow sneaks in because the football gods hate us.
That is what the football
I will fully fade Gus Edwards on this slate.
Yeah.
That's my plan. But yeah, that's what's going to happen. Goal line touchdowns.
Sammy's right. Herbert is like a perennially overrated fantasy asset. And I'll tell you why the DFS streets love him. Because we have long memory and we just remember that first year where he was smashing and we keep thinking it's going to happen. But it's just like that was his rookie year. This is very much, by the way, you know who else is playing out that way? CJ Stroud. When's the last time that guy had a fantasy performance?
Okay, it's his second year. It's Stroud's second year.
But I'm saying that's what happened with Herbert. He was amazing his first year. Second year came back. It was crap. And then we thought, oh, that was sophomore slump. But Herbert has never really turned that around. He's been pretty mid I don't think it's him. I think it's the team and how it's constructed. I think it could turn around, but it is noteworthy. It's noteworthy.
Yeah, I mean, it's scroll down on Stroud. Herbert's in his 5th season now. Stroud's in his 2nd.
You want to talk about DFS memory? We're still talking about Traquan Smith putting up 2 touchdowns on 3 receptions in a showdown back in 2017 or 18. And we still talk about that all the time. Like it is a common, it is a memory that's still there like fire.
Because he was like a 4-star play for us that night. Remember?
That was an awesome. That was
everyone smashed.
The greatest call of all time. That was great. So I think you got to start with your quarterback and you got to play them both here. Throw in the 7K running back that's underpriced and mistakenly. And then you get to do whatever the hell you want with the other 2 spots.
Can you go Sutton Ladd? Not quite.
You can't. You could play one of them.
Play one of them for sure.
So let's say it's Knicks. So you want to go Sutton with Knicks.
Yep.
And then, don't forget the kicker. Oh, go down on Dicker. That's for you, Tattoo.
God, is that really what I said?
I don't know.
Oh, well.
I don't know, maybe. But yeah, how about this?
That's funny.
Knicks to Sutton stack. Herbert in there just because he's a quarterback. Running back from the Chargers. Primary wide running back Chargers.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. I think that's great. It's a nice safe build.
You might want to change his name from Ashton Bronco Janty to Ashton Cowboy Janty, because I got a feeling Jerry Jones got a boner alert for that kid.
Oh, jeez.
And yes, that's right. I said it. Janty going to the Cowboys because Jerry Jones cannot resist. He can't resist a first-round running back. This guy has a first round. He wants to take another one. He still thinks it was a great draft pick taking Zeke.
Oh, my God.
He still thinks that. And anybody who would possibly tell him otherwise gets screamed at. That is not a guy you want to tell that you think he's wrong about something.
Well, he's wrong.
If you work for him, he's always right. Sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Of course. No, it's a very good pick. No. He was a big fan of Johnny Manziel too. He was going after Manziel. No one could stop that one either. All right. Yeah, that's it. I mean, this is a winner right here. So FanDuel gave us a gift. It's almost too good of a gift. I'm going to max out FanDuel. By the way, the last time I've maxed out FanDuel one time this year for a showdown, and it was last week on Monday, and I won it.
Yep.
Because it was like this. It was very clear. I feel like it's almost too easy. The problem is you tie with 1 million people and you don't make that much money. So be aware, but it is fun to win, even when you don't win a lot of money, just winning. Anything else, Bobbywow? Final thoughts on this one?
No, I think on DraftKings, you get a little silly with the wide receivers, those secondary wide receivers. On FanDuel, I think you could honestly, we talked about Bo Nix and Herbert getting a bunch of the MVP exposure. Put a little Kamani in there, maybe a little Sutton and McConkey, fade Gus. And I think that's just the way to go. Build your lineups around those guys.
Tons of kickers, tons of defenses, guys, on both sides. Both kickers, both defenses, very playable. Very playable. Kickers especially. I just feel this is the kind of game where they're going to be kicking a lot of field goals. Everybody's better than Palmer.
Stop.
Like no, I don't know if Valley's better than Palmer. I think Palmer is the least good when all the other wide receivers are there. Like, so with, they don't throw it to him the way they do. They try to get it to Quentin Johnston still. Like, I'll give Quentin Johnston the credit. They do throw it his way. He doesn't catch it, but they throw it his way.
I mean, okay. Palmer's been a little bit more active than you might think.
No, I know. He's not terrible. I have him on all my fantasy teams. He's a solid, like, 7 to 12 points every week.
He's exactly the type of guy that could put up a big game in a showdown slate. By big game, I mean, like 15, 16 points.
That I'll allow it for 15, 16. Like, I can see that happen. Yeah, 3, 13, 4. It's bad. This bad. Is not good.
It is not good. No, you're right. It's not good, but
it's not good. For his price, this is no. And a lot of these games, the other guys were hurt. This is what bothers me. Like that 13, this is where Ladd McConkey was out. That's not like he did that. It was known. There was no McConkey. Like
Ladd was in, 2 weeks earlier when he had 8 targets. It's just saying you don't want to X him out. That's all.
Play music. Good question. So who's gonna see Surtain? I actually think it's gonna be Quentin Johnston. Ladd McConkey plays in the slot. He is their slot guy. I think it's Quentin Johnston that gets shut down. And by the way, Surtain didn't exactly shut down Jerry Jeudy.
I was going to say, at this point, I'm not concerned. The teams move their guys around. Jameis Winston and the Browns just lit up this Broncos team 2 weeks ago. So I'm not playing the matchup game here.
Yeah. He needs to put on some magnet gloves or get a little sticky going on those gloves. Like, little rosin, little baseball rosin going on the gloves there, Quentin. How do you not know how to catch a pass? By the way, he can catch a pass. He's an NFL wide receiver. His problem is he's not paying attention. Like, it's mental. He's got
he's got the yips.
Concentration issues. That's all. You're not concentrating on the yips. Yeah.
I think he's got the yips. He's talented.
I want to announce a couple things. We have a lot of content this week going on. First of all, I'm supposed to mention In the Crease, the hockey show, Thursday, 6 p.m. here on the DFS Army YouTube channel. It's a once-a-week show. It's a great show, though. Burns is on there, Tattoo, and all the hockey goons. So DFS Army hockey is super underrated. It's a great Discord channel and a great crew talking about it. And they're really smart, and they're very into correlation. It's great. If I could...
Can I say one thing, too, real quick, about the hockey? So just maybe it's only me, but my perception of hockey was like going into the gym when you're skinny and you're like, there's a bunch of these guys, big tough dudes around you, and
it's intimidating.
It's scary. It's a scary place. Intimidating. It is the opposite. I thought that about hockey. I'm like, I'm too scared to be around. They're hockey, they're ice guys. They're northern, whatever.
Goons.
They're the crazies. No, they're the nicest guys on the planet. So if you're looking to learn a little about hockey, jump into the show, jump into the Discord. They're on fire. They're on fire right now. So
the goons.
It's worth it.
I like it. Later today, I will be on a betting show with Anthony Gargano. I'll tweet that out.
Ooh.
We're doing a 1-hour betting show. I'm excited about it. And then, of course, this is a big week because we have a Saturday slate. So here on the DFS Army YouTube channel, Friday is going to be a big day. We've got coverage coming in for the 2-game Saturday slate, as well as the standard tournament tactics show for the Sunday main. It is difficult for us here. Doing content and splitting it like that is actually tricky. I love a Saturday slate. I don't even know when I'm supposed to do Players Club on Saturday. There's games on. It's a very bizarre thing when you have this, and I'm not really sure what to do with it, but I will tell you guys, we will be here on Friday breaking down both the 2-game slate and the Sunday main slate in different live streams. So make sure you're here and you have the notification bell rung. Please share this video with a friend if you enjoy it as well. I've noticed, Bobbywow, that it's the same group. So positive and negative. I watch our videos. We get about 7,000 views on these videos. It's the same people every week, which is awesome. The same people keep coming back. They enjoy the show. They've done well. They enjoy the breakdowns even after we didn't exactly hit the mark on the Jefferson fade, or listen, you're not always right, and I appreciate everybody coming back all the time for these breakdowns. Same group, but we want to get some new eyes on here. So share, tell a friend. I don't know, hit like. I don't know what you can do, but a Hockey Players Club, maybe late night Friday night Players Club.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Like an 8 p.m. I don't know. Get some gummies going alongside the Blue Moons. Yeah,
that might work. This is truly the most wonderful time of the year with football. We've got tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, and then we've got Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday the following week. This is like the apex of NFL goodness.
Can I take next week off? I just like it's too much. Like Christmas.
No, next week's the week you take something big down. Okay.
All right. We're taking them down next week. Well, let's get an appetizer going Thursday night.
Let's do it.
And then an amuse bouche on Saturday.
There you go.
Get ready. Pad up the account for next week's insanity. Christmas week craziness. Guys, it is nonstop. So make sure to check it out. I don't even talk about DFS Army is going strong as well with NBA and NHL. We already talked about that. PGA on break, on hiatus. Also, NASCAR on hiatus. But they're all coming back. MMA team going strong. So it is nonstop DFS around here. And you've already seen it. If you just want the money, if you're here for the money, just follow along. Money. Of course, this is twisting when I click over to it because
you need a new machine. I don't know what it looks like. You're on like a 1994.
I have a cord I got to pull to start this computer up at this point.
You're running Windows 98.
Is there a new Windows? So yeah, the props team. If you're a DFS Army subscriber, again, don't say we didn't tell you. Don't say we didn't tell you. That you should have been following along with this. They drop the picks in Discord all throughout the day and night. By the way, I get 3 a.m. because Will Lynn's out in California. I get notifications even 3 a.m. I'm okay. I just follow along. Okay, put in the ticket. Okay. He even puts out sportsbook against the sportsbook, everything. You're in a legal state. All these things are legal. More sportsbooks coming. The Proptimizer tool keeps expanding. By the way, if you're a DFS Army subscriber and you're like, hey, I really like it on Better or a different one, it's easy for us to add them now. The Proptimizer tool is very, very flexible, and we are adding sites and sport. We have 70 different sports books in there already. It is an incredible amount of data, and that's part of the cost. It just actually quite expensive to present these tools and to create them and to have them. So I think it's really the best thing you could ever do. $34 a month, eventually $49.99, but it's $34 now. And you lock in when you're subscribed. It never goes up. So I advise everybody get in there now before January 1st and before this price goes up. They go nonstop. This is year round. MLB, whatever sport, whatever season, WNBA, they're awesome at WNBA. Bet the overs on Caitlin. What's up?
There you go. There you go.
That's all they do. Caitlin overs. Is there a QB out of 2 where we can run all wide receivers and no RB to be unique? I don't know. I don't know about rules to be unique here for this slate. I think you really want to control not having too many of those turd wide receivers from the Broncos. Like if I'm having, I don't want more than 2 of those guys, or probably not. I don't know, not more than 1. Bobbywow.
Probably not more than one of those. Like
a Mims, Veli,
Franklin,
maybe like an at most 1 rule.
I don't even know that I'm doing that. I just because their running back situation is so bizarre.
This will be a weird one. But my personal take is I agree with the chalk on Sutton and Ladd McConkey. Yes. I'm not going to get off of that. So I feel that your win condition here is elevated exposure to kickers. Elevated Dicker has to be elevated. Got to elevate the Dicker.
Yes. Yep.
The Dicker is elevated. Wait a minute. Sorry, I want to. Is that? Boner alert. Shirani had the Dicker elevated in that clip. That's Shirani. I don't know if you knew who the character is. If you don't know the backstory of that one.
No, I don't.
You don't know the backstory?
Nope.
That's Shirani. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. That's going to do it, guys. Yes. McConkey, Sutton, lock button. Play quarterbacks, play kickers.
Oh man.
Find the right third wide receiver. Play play
Kamani Vidal.
Yeah, Kamani Vidal over Gus Edwards, and then hope and pray. All right, guys, that's going to do it for the Showdown breakdown. Helmets up, everyone. We'll see you guys next time.
Big time, knowing that diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine.